Hey little friend, today we continue our journey to the galaxy through a place where the sky hums in colors your eyes haven't learned to name yet. The air here is thin as laughter, scented faintly of frozen lightning and dream salt. A violet aurora ripples across the firmament like silk stirred by invisible fingers. Beneath it, the world glows in slow motion, crystals blooming instead of flowers, stones exhaling small, polite clouds of mist as if sighing in rhythm with the stars. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And tell me in the comments, where are you listening from? And what time does your sky sparkle tonight? You trudge across a plain of shimmering frost that never quite crunches, because the ground doesn't seem to believe in pressure. Each step is a gentle argument between your boots and reality. Then, faintly, you hear it, a whisper that glows. The sound isn't carried by air but by light itself, rippling toward you as pale threads that brush your fingertips. They murmur words you don't know but somehow understand. Follow the song that hides beneath silence. You tilt your head, listening harder. The auroras above stretch downward, forming translucent ribbons that spiral together into an invisible staircase. It seems made of hush. Each step vibrates when you breathe too loudly. You test it with a cautious toe, and the step sings a note so pure it feels like being gently tickled by mathematics. Somewhere, a voice giggles. Don't stop now, it says. The first stare is shy but loyal. You look up, and for a brief second, you see an outline, an elegant figure woven entirely from moonlight threads, smiling upside down. Then it vanishes, leaving only the scent of starlight and a vague feeling that someone's watching kindly. You climb. Each step rises higher into the sky until the ground fades away completely, replaced by a sea of faintly glowing mist. Below, galaxies ripple like reflections in dark water. The higher you ascend, the quieter the world becomes until silence itself hums. It's not empty, but full of subtle resonance, like the inside of a seashell the size of infinity. Then the aurora parts, and you find yourself standing on a platform of glass that doesn't reflect you. Instead, it shows moving images of places you've never been, floating cities shaped like hourglasses, forests made of whispering smoke, oceans that dream about flying. You feel dizzy, as if reality itself just winked. First-timers always get vertigo. Murmurs the voice again, somewhere between your ears and your heartbeat. Welcome to the edge of the sanctuary, traveler of echoes. A faint vibration trembles through the glass. The aurora above flickers, almost laughing. The whispers rise into a shimmering chorus, guiding you forward toward a glowing archway that waits, half real, half remembered. You breathe in light, step through the arch, and the air tastes like music about to begin. The glowing arch folds behind you like a closing eyelid, and the world shifts. Air turns liquid, sound turns visible. You blink and realize you're standing inside a current of slow-moving light, like an underwater stream made entirely of moonbeams. Tiny creatures drift past, fish made of blue fire and translucent laughter. Their eyes sparkle like raindrops pretending to be stars. One of them swims closer, tail fanning softly. It hovers before your nose, peering at you with a look of intense curiosity, as if it's never seen a creature made of meat before. You almost wave, but it beats you to it. A fin flick, and a line of glowing bubbles rises from its gills, forming a sentence in midair. Are you lost, landwalker? Well, you say carefully, technically, I'm more misplaced than lost. The fish giggles a tiny chime, like silver spoons clinking. Then it signals to the others, and in moments you're surrounded by a school of lanternfish, glowing in shifting hues of turquoise and amethyst. Together, they form a swirling pattern around you, an orbit of living starlight. Follow us, says the bold one. The sanctuary doesn't open for strangers, it listens first. You float forward, not by walking, but by being gently tugged along their current. The world around you rearranges itself, a cathedral of light, arches made of luminous coral, walls shimmering with constellations that drift like plankton. You realize you're moving through an enormous dome suspended in space, with no up or down, only the comforting rhythm of pulse and glow. Every so often, the lanternfish pause. One by one, they press against your chest, testing something invisible. When they do, you hear a faint echo of your heartbeat answering theirs. The rhythm is off, at first clumsy, like a toddler trying to match a drumbeat but gradually sinks until your pulse becomes part of their melody. That's better, says the lead fish approvingly. You can't enter the sanctuary if your heart beats out of tune with the stars. You almost laugh, though part of you wonders what happens to those who never find the right rhythm. The thought lingers, faintly eerie, like a chill passing through warm air. The lanternfish begin to chant in tones beyond language. The water light around you vibrates, and suddenly you're standing before gates so massive they seem to have been grown rather than built. Each bar is carved from transparent matter etched with scenes of galaxies blooming and dying in endless cycles. Something vast stirs beyond the gates. A shadow moves, too fluid to belong to a single being. You glimpse scales that shimmer like comets and eyes that resemble eclipses. For a moment, you think the stars themselves are peering back. The leader fish turns, flicking its fins solemnly. Do not be afraid. The guardian will only test your truth. The gates sigh open. A surge of air sound light rushes out, filled with the scent of ozone and something older like the moment just before thunder. You take a hesitant step, and every hair on your arm rises in response. The guardian emerges, an enormous serpentine creature woven from threads of aurora, its body stretching beyond sight. Its voice is the vibration of starlight against glass. Welcome, child of dust, it whispers. Your heart sings honestly, enter. And remember, nothing that glows is harmless. And with a slow bow of its radiant head, the gates swing wide, opening onto the first true chambers of the sanctuary. The gates dissolve behind you, not closing but forgetting they were ever open. The moment you step forward, the floor changes from glowing coral to something that looks like frozen lightning, a transparent path stretching into a vast hall of mirrored towers. You blink, and every reflection of you moves a half-second late, as if the mirrors are deciding whether they approve of your behavior. Inside this crystalline labyrinth drifts a faint tinkling sound, like teacups gossiping. It's oddly comforting, until a voice soft yet multiplied calls from everywhere at once. Welcome, traveler of echoes. Mind your gaze. Reflections bite. Out glides the librarian. Imagine a jellyfish crossed with a chandelier, and then politely apologize for underestimating it. Its bell is a dome of glass filled with swirling eyes, hundreds, all blinking in gentle sequence. From its tendrils hang scrolls of light, pages whispering to one another like gossiping ghosts. You nearly bump into a floating shelf that dodges you with offended dignity. Books drift here like fish, their spines pulsing faintly. One even sneezes glitter when you pass too close. The librarian hovers before you, every eye focusing at once. All memories are light here, it says. We store them in prisms so they can shimmer even when forgotten. It gestures toward a nearby wall. Inside each crystal cube, miniature scenes replay endlessly, planets being born, children laughing, a cat teaching a robot to purr. You lean closer. One cube shows you, climbing invisible stairs beneath a purple aurora. The image flickers, then looks straight back. Your mirrored self waves, then taps the glass from the inside. Curious, murmurs the librarian. That reflection shouldn't have initiative. Perhaps you're leaking possibilities. Before you can ask what that means, your reflection smiles, a bit too wide, and starts to push harder on the crystal surface. The cube trembles. A faint crack appears, spider-thin but growing. Oops, you say. Because humor helps when existential boundaries fail. The librarian extends a tendril, sealing the crack with a hum that feels like forgiveness. Be cautious, it warns. In this place, even wondering what if can make another version of you try to escape. The thought is deliciously eerie, you, multiplied and curious, trapped in prisms of almost reality. One of your duplicates might already be reading this sentence ahead of you. The librarian softens. Don't be afraid, it says kindly. Curiosity is a dangerous light, but also the brightest. Would you like to see how your memories shine? It beckons you to a spiral of glass. As you ascend, each step projects a fragment of your life, moments you didn't know were beautiful until they glowed. The librarian hums approvingly. Good, it says. You carry more wonder than fear. The sanctuary values that. At the top, a narrow doorway flickers open, made of refracted starlight and soft laughter. The librarian bows low, eyes dimming in respect. Beyond this hall lies the garden of breathless flowers. Mind the pollen. It thanks in rhyme. You thank the many-eyed guide and step toward the door. Just before it closes, one of the librarian's voices adds gently, "Oh, and if any mirror waves at you later, don't wave back." You step through the doorway of refracted starlight, and the world softens into warmth and color. The garden of breathless flowers stretches before you, a valley of floating petals suspended midair. As if gravity took a nap, each bloom hums a tune too faint to fully hear, and the air itself glitters with drifting pollen that moves like lazy fireflies. The scent is overwhelming, a mix of honey, lightning, and freshly opened dreams. You inhale and instantly hiccup a musical note. It sounds suspiciously like a squeaky toy attempting opera. Somewhere in the distance, something laughs, high and tinkling, like a wind chime with a sense of humor. A tiny figure bursts from a puff of golden dust, a sprite no bigger than your palm, with wings shaped like melted hourglasses. Aha, it squeals. Another off-key visitor. Delightful. I'm Pill, pollen engineer and part-time rhyme enthusiast. You blink. Pollen engineer? Pill folds its wings with exaggerated dignity. Of course, somebody has to teach these flowers proper lyrical etiquette. Otherwise, they start inhaling lullabies and exhaling gossip. Last week, a tulip told the moon she looked tired. You laugh, and Pill beams proudly. The sprite twirls midair, sprinkling trails of shimmering dust that glow brighter whenever you chuckle. See, you've got a laugh worth photosynthesizing. All around you, the blossoms seem to react, turning slightly to face you, opening wider, their petals vibrating with faint harmonies. Then you realize they're inhaling your laughter, storing it like sunlight. One particularly large flower, a violet sphere with tiny eyes, leans close. More, it whispers, exhaling a soft melody that sounds like your name reversed. You grin nervously. Friendly plants, huh? Pill shrugs, mostly. Just don't let them take too deep a breath. They forget to exhale and, well, things get floaty. What do you mean by floaty? You start, but before you finish, a blossom beside you expands like a balloon. Its petals quiver, then pop open, releasing a shimmering wave of air. Instantly, you're lifted a few inches off the ground, gently tumbling like a dandelion seed in zero gravity. Pill zips around you, laughing so hard it nearly folds in half. See, I warned you. You're buoyant with joy. Help. You protest, flailing your arms. I'm not aerodynamic. The sprite waves a wand made of pollen stems. Muttering a quick rhyme, laughter high and giggle-free, settle down as calm as tea. You drift back to the ground, landing softly beside a flower shaped like a harp. Its petals strum themselves, sending a sigh through the valley. For a moment, everything goes quiet, as if the entire garden is listening. Then, faintly, from deep below the soil, comes a low rumble, a voice as ancient as orbit itself. Pill's wings twitch. Oh, the titans are stirring. The what now? You whisper, the sleeping ones beneath the roots. Pill replies gravely. When they dreamed aloud, constellations change shape. You'd better go before they roll over again. You look back at the glowing valley, feeling both enchanted and uneasy. The flowers seem to bow as you pass, whispering fragments of songs you haven't yet lived. At the far edge of the garden, a spiral stair carved from meteor stone waits. Pill salutes you with a puff of pollen and calls, "Give my regards to the titans. And don't eat anything that hums, it's probably sacred." You laugh again softly this time and descend into the shadowy roots below. The air cools, the colors dim, and the faint rumbling grows louder. Steady as the breathing of mountains, the stair of meteor stone winds downward in a slow spiral, glowing faintly under your touch. With each step, the air grows thicker, warmer, and strangely rhythmic, like walking through the pulse of a sleeping heart. The sound you heard above deepens into a subterranean symphony of sighs and groans, vast and gentle. The roots of the garden twist around you, some as thin as fingers, others as wide as rivers. They glitter faintly with embedded stars, tiny constellations trapped in amber veins. You realize that each root hums a tone, and together they form a song so low it rattles your bones. Then the tunnel opens into an enormous cavern, an expanse of silver mist and slumbering giants. Dozens, maybe hundreds, of stone figures lie half buried beneath the roots, their immense bodies curled like sleeping children. Their skin isn't quite stone, it shifts and breathes slowly, as though mountains themselves had decided to take a nap after sculpting the cosmos. A voice beside you whispers, "They dream the constellations." You startle to find Pill hovering again, perched casually on your shoulder. How didn't you say goodbye?" "Oh, that. I'm terrible at farewells," the sprite says cheerfully. "Besides, I left my sense of direction in your pocket." You check your pocket sure enough. There's a small glowing seed pulsing faintly, as if embarrassed to be found. Pill nods. That'll help the Titans recognize you as harmless. Otherwise, they might mistake you for a meteorite and throw you into orbit. Awkward, that. You stare at the nearest Titan, whose chest rises and falls with the rhythm of a slow tide. Every exhale releases mist that curls into shapes, mountains, rivers, faces that fade before you can recognize them. Their snores echo like thunder, remembered. As you watch, one giant stirs. Its eyelids, each the size of a hill, flutter open, revealing eyes full of swirling galaxies. The cavern brightens. Pyl squeaks, "Oh dear, don't say anything clever." They can smell metaphors. The Titan tilts its massive head. Its voice resonates in your skull rather than your ears. "Little spark," it murmurs, "why do you walk where stars are born asleep?" You swallow hard. "I'm searching for the sanctuary. I think I'm meant to find it." The Titan's chuckle shakes the cavern. "Meant, a fine word for something the universe forgot to plan." Another Titan mumbles in its sleep, rolling slightly. And above you the ceiling flickers, constellations rearranging themselves like lazy fireflies. You realize every dream these beings have redraws the heavens. Somewhere, a sailor might be cursing his compass right now. The first Titan lowers its enormous hand. "Palm up. Take a fragment," it says softly. "When you reach the lake of mirrors, it will show you your true path." On its palm lies a pebble, glowing faintly with inner starlight. You take it, feeling a gentle vibration, like a heartbeat older than time. Pill wipes imaginary tears. A Titan's gift. You're officially interesting now. The Titan's eyelids droop again. Go quickly before the dream reshapes you. You wouldn't enjoy being the new constellation of confused traveler. You nod, pocket the glowing pebble, and hurry toward a tunnel of pale light. Behind you, the Titan's snores deepen again, stirring the air like ancient winds. As you climb, Pill yawns. "Well, that was bracing." Next stop, the mirror lake of forgotten suns. Bring your reflection manners. You glance back once more at the slumbering giants and whisper a thank you that the stones seem to absorb. Then you step into the tunnel, carrying the faint hum of their cosmic dreams within your chest. The tunnel slopes upward until your breath turns cool again, and the air begins to shimmer like water. Then without warning you step out onto a ledge that seems to hover over infinity. Below you stretches a lake so still, so perfectly reflective, that for a dizzy moment you can't tell whether it lies beneath or above. The sky and water are indistinguishable, two halves of the same endless mirror. This, Pill announces grandly, is the mirror lake of forgotten suns. Mind your posture, reflections are judgmental. You laugh softly, but your voice ripples through the air and the lake answers. 1,000 versions of you appear across the surface, each slightly different, one taller, one older, one with wings of translucent glass, one laughing at something you haven't yet thought of. It's mesmerizing until one of them waves first. Pill tugs at your ear. "Don't engage." Last time someone waved back, we had 2 of them for weeks. Neither would admit to being the original. You back up a step. The mirrored water gleams brighter, its calm broken by slow circles of silver. The surface parts, and out glides a being made of rippling reflection, its skin a liquid film of starlight, its face ever shifting. "Welcome, bearer of the Titan's fragment," it says, voice echoing from inside your chest rather than the air. "I am the lake keeper. I show what could have been, and what may yet be." The lake keeper gestures toward the glowing pebble in your pocket. It rises, spinning above your hand, sending threads of light into the mirror below. The water stirs and scenes unfold, a path of possibilities. Dozens of lives branching outward like rivers of light. You see yourself exploring worlds made of wind, befriending creatures woven of sound, even returning home older, wiser, with eyes that remember galaxies. But one vision catches your attention. It's you, standing right here, except alone. No Pill, no shimmering guide. Just silence and an emptiness that hums. The sight leaves a cold ache in your chest, The lakekeeper's voice softens. Every traveler faces the self they fear to become. Step closer and meet them. You hesitate. The eerie calm is heavy as velvet. What happens if I do? Pill crosses its tiny arms. Depends. You might learn something profound or trip over metaphysics and need a snack. You take a step closer anyway. The water beneath your reflection quivers, then bursts upward, forming a twin of you made of silver mist. Its eyes glow softly. You, it says quietly, are only one note in a longer song. Don't try to sing at all. Then, as gently as a sigh, it dissolves into light. The ripples fade. The lakekeeper nods once, satisfied. You have met your silence without drowning in it. Few do. Pill exhales. Good. I was worried I'd have to fish your ego out with a spoon. You laugh shaky, but reel and pocket the Titan's fragment again. The lakekeeper bows, lowering a bridge of mirrored light that stretches toward a distant gleam. Your next step, it whispers, is aboard the hollow comet. The pilgrims await. Go while the reflection still remembers your face. As you step onto the bridge, the lake flares once more, scattering 1,000 suns across the mirrored sky. For a heartbeat, you glimpse every version of yourself waving not warning this time. But farewell. Then the light folds away, and only the echo of your footsteps remains. The bridge of mirrored light carries you forward through a sky painted in drifting vapor trails. Ahead, a pale gleam grows brighter until you see it, a comet the size of a mountain, hollowed from the inside, gliding silently through space like a cathedral built for speed. Its tail flares behind it in soft ribbons of blue and gold. You feel it hum through your bones, a low note that tastes faintly of frost and forgotten wishes. Pill hovers beside you, goggles now perched dramatically on its forehead. Welcome aboard the hollow comet. Mind the pilgrims, they're friendly, unless you interrupt to hymn or sit on their offerings. You drift toward an opening in the comet's icy hull. Inside, the walls are carved with thousands of tiny marks, spirals, stars, and flowing script that glows faintly as you pass. The pilgrims are unlike any beings you've met, tall, cloaked shapes with faces of shimmering dust, their eyes slow-burning embers. Each carries a chisel made of light, carving prayers into the comet's frozen ribs. Every strike leaves a musical note, so the whole interior thrums with layered melody. One of the pilgrims turns to you. Its voice is deep and kind. Traveler, carve your prayer, and the comet will remember your song. I'm not sure what to write. You admit, my handwriting's bad even on non-moving celestial bodies. The pilgrim chuckles, a sound like snow crunching under starlight. Intent is the language here, not grammar. Pill elbows you. Try not to wish for snacks this time. You laugh, then focus. With trembling fingers, you trace a simple shape on the ice, a spiral within a star. You don't know why, but it feels right. The comet glows faintly beneath your touch, as if it sighs in understanding. Suddenly, the entire interior shivers. A low chime resonates through the hull. The pilgrims raise their chisels high, chanting in voices that echo through eternity. The comet sings. The traveler's path aligns. You stagger slightly as the comet changes course, banking through space. Stars blur into streaks. Outside, nebulae flash like thought bubbles of sleeping gods. Through a narrow fissure, you glimpse planets, comets, and drifting citadels carved from pure light. Pill clings to your collar. I didn't sign up for express travel, but I'm not complaining. Then the comet begins to hum a deep, mournful tune. The pilgrims stop carving, bowing their heads. It remembers the suns it once passed, murmurs one. Each note is a goodbye. You listen closely, and within the song you hear echoes of places you've been, the laughter of flowers, the heartbeat of titans, the shimmering whispers of the librarian's hall. The melody folds them all together into something vast and tender. The lead pilgrim steps forward and touches your chest. Carry this harmony onward. It will open the next gate, the domain of the archivist. Light spills from its hand into your skin, warm and vibrating. You feel the hum settle into your heartbeat, aligning perfectly with the rhythm the lanternfish once tested. Pill blinks in awe. You're practically an instrument now. Don't sneeze, or you'll start a symphony. Outside, the comet slows, drifting toward a colossal gear-shaped moon turning in silence. As you near, the pilgrims kneel, their glowing eyes dimming in reverence. The archivist awaits. One whispers, "Return what time has borrowed." You nod, heart still singing, and step into a beam of soft golden light as the comet opens its gate and releases you toward the ticking world below. The golden beam lowers you gently onto the surface of the gear-shaped moon. The ground beneath your feet hums with rhythm tick, tock, tick, a heartbeat made of machinery and memory. The landscape is vast and intricate. Colossal cogs turn beneath transparent floors. Rivers of molten light flow between crystal pistons. And in the distance stands a tower that seems to grow and rewind itself at once. Pill whistles. If clocks could dream, they'd dream of this. Also, note to self, don't drop anything round, or we'll never see it again. As you approach the tower, you pass broken shards scattered across the metallic plane, tiny glass fragments that emit faint, echoing whispers. When you bend to examine one, a vision flickers inside it. A child laughing under twin suns. A city turning to glass at dawn. A dancer twirling between raindrops of gold. Each fragment hums like a memory that slipped out of time. At the tower's base stands the archivist of time's fragments. It is an enormous spark machine, part candle flame, part ghost. Gears turn where ribs should be, and its arms trail long scrolls of parchment that float on their own accord. Its face flickers between centuries, one moment ancient and wrinkled, the next a smooth clock face with blinking numerals. It says in a voice that sounds like several centuries speaking together. Another traveler burdened by unfinished moments. Pill bows dramatically. He's been collecting souvenirs, your temporal tallness. The archivist leans forward, candlelight eyes studying you. The Titan's fragment glows in your pocket. It anchors you but anchors way. Would you trade one memory for a secret of the stars? You hesitate. The air tastes like static and nostalgia. What kind of secret? The kind that vanishes if spoken aloud, the archivist replies. Knowledge is a flame that consumes its match. Pill flits nervously. Translation: don't touch the shiny thing unless you like cosmic heartburn. Still, curiosity stirs inside you. Slowly, you nod. I'll trade one memory. The archivist opens a hand of smoke and gears. Then offer it freely. You close your eyes and choose something small but precious. A summer night on Earth. The sound of rain against your window. The smell of warm tea and thunder. The moment slips from you like silk, weightless and irreversible. The archivist inhales it, glowing brighter. Accepted, it murmurs. In return, behold, it extends its other hand, releasing a single droplet of molten gold. Inside the droplet swirls a constellation. You don't recognize an arrangement of stars, forming a spiral eye. The secret is not where the stars are, but where they listen. The sanctuary was built upon their hearing. The droplet sinks into your palm and vanishes. You feel it settle deep within your chest, pulsing gently, aligning with your heartbeat once again. The archivist's gears slow. Your next trial waits in the storm that sings backward. It will test whether you remember your own direction. Pull shivers, wings rattling. Backward storms, delightful. I once got stuck in one aged 3 hours younger. The archivist lowers its head in a bow. Go now, before your borrowed time ticks out. The path lies through the hourglass horizon. You look toward where the metallic plane bends upward, folding into itself like a Mobius strip of golden sand. Wind begins to howl not forward, but in reverse, pulling everything toward its source. You thank the archivist and clutch your glowing chest. Then, with Pill muttering rhythmically about anti-weather insurance, you step into the golden gale and let it unmake the air around you. The world tilts, and suddenly up becomes sideways. You stumble through wind that doesn't blow but pulls each gust a reversal, dragging leaves, dust, even stray thoughts backward through time. The sky here is an inverted dome, swirling with vapor that glows from beneath rather than above. Lightning flickers upward, stitching torn clouds closed. Pill clings to your shoulder, tiny wings flapping in protest. I told you, this place runs on cosmic nonsense. Even the rain falls back into the clouds. It's recycling at a philosophical level. You can't help laughing, though your voice comes out in reverse, a soft, eerie echo that unsays itself the moment it's spoken. The sound curls back into your mouth like a confused boomerang. Okay, you murmur carefully, note to self, don't make any promises here. They might unhappen. Ahead, the storm thickens into a vast, spiraling corridor of backward wind. The ground is made of liquid glass that ripples away from your footsteps. Every droplet of rain moves in reverse, returning to the sky in slow, graceful arcs. It's beautiful, but it makes your stomach feel like it's reading the wrong end of a story. In the center of this chaos stands a figure. At first it looks like a person, cloaked and still, but as you near, you realize it's composed entirely of reversed sound waves. Notes and whispers coil around an invisible frame, forming eyes that flash with every thunderclap. Pill gulps audibly. That's the melody, the storm's conductor. Don't hum near it unless you're tuned in negative frequency. The melody turns toward you, and the air trembles. Its voices both whisper and roar, playing backward and forward at once, child of rhythm. Step carefully. This storm unweaves the songs of the unsteady. You take a cautious step, clutching your chest where the Titan's fragment hums softly. I've come to find the sanctuary of the starbound spirits. My path, your path, is a melody half-sung. The melody interrupts. Can you dance it without time to guide you? Pill nudges you. He means literally. It's interpretive dance or cosmic disintegration. Before you can reply, the storm surges. The ground shatters into shards of glowing rhythm, each beat pulsing in reverse. You realize the only way forward is to move with the storm, match its rhythm backward. So, taking a deep breath, you step left when your instincts say right. Spin counter to your heartbeat and sway to the inverted thunder. The result is chaotic at first, but slowly, the pattern emerges, a flowing, backward dance that feels oddly natural, like remembering something you haven't learned yet. The melody watches, eyes flickering. Yes, you remember forgetting. You unsing beautifully. The storm begins to calm. Rain freezes midair, then gently collapses back into forward motion. For the first time, the air feels breathable again. Pill pumps a tiny fist. Ha, we survived the anti-weather recital. Remind me to add that to my resume. The melody extends a single luminous hand, placing something weightless into yours, a sliver of stillness shaped like a teardrop. When all motion ends, it says, this will guide you to the sanctuary's heart. But beware, stillness sings louder than storms. You bow slightly, unsure whether to speak or simply think your thanks. The melody smiles, a soundless ripple of reversed thunder, and dissolves into mist. The last of the backward rain settles into silence. Ahead, the storm parts, revealing a tranquil expanse of light stretching toward a vast structure that glows like an open heart. Pill exhales. The end of the storm and, I think, the start of everything else. You nod, stepping toward the final horizon, where the sanctuary of the starbound spirits waits. Humming faintly in time with your soul, you step through the final veil of light, and suddenly the air changes. It's softer, warmer, and impossibly vast. The sanctuary of the starbound spirits rises before you like a cathedral built from music and moonlight. Towers shaped like tuning forks shimmer with every heartbeat. The floor beneath your feet is woven from beams of slow-moving starlight, bending gently with each step, as if the universe itself were cushioning your arrival. Pill hovers beside you, unusually quiet. Well, it whispers, that's big. Then, after a pause, I mean, really big. Like, you dash could dash hide dash a dash galaxy dash in there big. You manage a laugh, though it comes out shaky. Let's try not to get lost this time. The air hums in reply. It's not a sound but a feeling, of vibration deep in your bones, familiar yet unnameable. You follow it forward through halls that curve in impossible directions, where stairs rise sideways and arches loop into infinity. Along the walls float ghostly figures, star-shaped silhouettes watching you silently. They aren't threatening. Rather, they seem curious, like candles eager to know who has entered their glow. At the center of the chamber stands a pool of stillness, perfectly round, perfectly quiet. When you approach, the sliver of stillness the melody gave you trembles in your hand, then dissolves into the air with a sigh. The pool ripples, and a voice, neither male nor female, neither young nor old, whispers inside your thoughts. You have crossed the mirrored storms, the sleeping giants, and the gardens that breathe dreams. Tell us, traveler, what do you seek here? You hesitate. I don't know anymore, you admit. Maybe to understand why I was called. Why me? The surface of the pool brightens, and from it rises a form made entirely of light threads, thousands of luminous tendrils, woven into a humanoid shape. Dozens more rise around it, forming a choir of radiant beings. These are the Starbound spirits. Each movement they make releases faint chords of cosmic harmony. One steps closer. You came not because you were chosen, but because you listened when the stars spoke. The others hum in agreement, a sound like galaxies exhaling. The sanctuary does not seek perfection, only resonance. Every heart in the cosmos hums with a note. Some louder, some lost. You came to remember yours. You lower your head. But I've met storms, shadows, and things I barely understand. What if my note is wrong? Pill lands softly on your shoulder, eyes gleaming. Buddy, if your note were wrong, the storm would have eaten you, not danced with you. The spirits laugh a beautiful, cascading sound that makes your chest ache with warmth. Your melody is incomplete, not incorrect, they say. You must return home and teach your world to listen again to stars, to silence, to one another. The spirit extends its hand, and light flows into your chest. For a moment, you glimpse everything: the spinning of galaxies, the laughter of ancient creatures, the pulse of time itself. Then it fades, leaving behind a quiet glow beneath your ribs. Pill tilts its head. So we're done? The spirit smiles. Every ending is a beginning reversed. The sanctuary fades around you. The aurora returns, lilac and gold, spreading across the endless sky. You feel lighter, as if gravity itself has agreed to take a short vacation. You look up one last time. 1,000 tiny lights wink at you from beyond the veil. Maybe they're stars. Maybe they're the spirits, watching to see what melody you'll make next. Pill nudges you. Come on, maestro. Let's go teach your world a better tune. And with that, you take your first step back into the starlit path, heart humming. Soul steady, eyes bright with everything you've seen. And now, little friend, you can rest. The storm has passed, the stars are calm again, and your journey through the sanctuary has left a soft echo in the night. Close your eyes for a moment and breathe in the quiet. Feel how gentle it is now, how the air no longer hums with mystery but with peace. The galaxies outside your window still spin, but slowly, as if they too are listening. The spirits are not far. They never were. They linger in the space between heartbeats, in that soft hush before sleep takes you. If you listen closely, you might still hear the faint melody of the sanctuary, steady, patient, waiting for you to hum along. Pill would probably say something silly right now, like, don't snore in reverse, or you'll inhale your dreams, and maybe you'd laugh. Because even in the vastness of space, laughter keeps the darkness kind. The glow beneath your ribs is faint but real. It's the gift of remembrance, the reminder that wonder is never lost, only quiet until you look for it again. So when you wake, when morning returns, and the real world feels heavy and gray, remember this: you've walked among the starbound spirits. You've danced with storms, sung with silence, and found light in the strangest places. Now, let your thoughts drift like starlight, slow and soft. The night holds you gently, and somewhere far above, the spirits hymn your name, clear, calm, eternal.